Welcome to Right Now Workshop Podcast. I'm your host, Kitty Bucholtz, and this is episode 33, Find Your People, an Encouraging Words episode coming to you on Sunday, March 4th, 2018. Seth Godin wrote a book called Tribes, We Need You to Lead Us in 2008. Unbelievably, that was nearly 10 years ago that it came out. But since then, the word tribe and the way that Seth used it has become kind of a part of our common lexicon, particularly among anybody who does any business online. But really, it seems like nearly everybody, and particularly creative groups of people and entrepreneurial groups of people, are using the word tribe. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that because a few days ago, I met with a tribe of mine for the first time ever, and I was so excited. It was amazing. I was sitting at breakfast with about a dozen other podcasters, and I don't think that I have ever, since the last few years that I've been thinking about podcasting, sat in a room with podcasters in it and talked to other podcasters. It was so exciting. And it reminded me of the first time that I went to a Romance Writers of America meeting, and I was like, oh my gosh, these are my people. They get me. They don't think it's weird what I write because they write it too. There are so many times when we have those moments. You know, the first time that I went to a church that had everything in it that was the way that I wanted to do church, I was like, oh my gosh, the sermon is funny. The music is fast and upbeat with the band, and the people are super friendly and like hug you and ask your name and shake your hand. And I was like, this is amazing. Well, sometimes we are in a position where we need to find a tribe for something that we are interested in, something that we're desperately interested in, something that we really need other people around us. And I want to encourage you to find your tribe. You need to find your people, the people who really get you. So if the people that get you are other writers or other writers of a certain genre, or people who do some other really cool, amazing, creative thing that other people kind of look at you askance and think, or you think they're thinking, or they actually say, well, that's weird. I have occasionally had people say right to my face that what I was doing and passionate about was weird. And that's fine, but I'm like, you are not my people. And how can I get myself out of this conversation and still be polite? We need to find our people. We need to find the people that we can encourage and they can encourage us. As a different but related example, I have this friend Kathleen, and she is fabulous. Actually, Kathleen was a guest on the show a couple of months ago. Kathleen was the one who was talking to us about researching, and when she was researching children's books in particular. She and I have been friends for ages. I don't even want to count, but it's been at least 10 years. And there's a lot of ways that we're different, but there are a couple of things that we're like, oh, my people, this is great. So as you probably remember, I am getting ready to move to Sweden. It's very exciting, but I have 1,000 things to do and 10,000 decisions to make, including should I take these clothes or those clothes? Should I Goodwill those clothes or should I buy those clothes? And anyway, been trying on clothes all day, which is not necessarily my most favorite thing to do. But I was texting Kathleen the whole time, even though she doesn't live here and I can't touch her and hug her and hear her voice. I was texting her back and forth. What do you think of me in this shirt? How does this shirt look? Do you think that I should Goodwill this? And we were just coming up with ideas on how we could sort of spring clean and pack at the same time. And then because it's the beginning of March, she was saying that I was getting her excited to start her annual spring cleaning, which she always does. And she's very good at it, which is one of the reasons I started texting her about this in the first place. See, there are people who really get us. Maybe not every single thing. Maybe you have these people are your tribe and your people for this particular interest. Those people are your tribe and your people who really get that thing. Like maybe there are friends that you have who they do parenting the way you do parenting. And you're like, oh, it's so nice to talk to somebody who understands what I'm trying to do and understands why I'm making the choices that I am. Or another writer or, here's an example that I maybe should have asked permission before I used it. But there was one time we found this church that was like finally a church that we were just so, wow, these are our people. And we'd been there for a few weeks, maybe a couple of months, and we met another young couple, a little bit younger than us, and they were just getting ready to get married. And we were talking, and you just bring up things in conversation, things come up having to do with your interests, and you're getting to know each other, right? So I listened to John say some things that are sort of obtuse and not clear. And then the other fellow kind of paused and tilted his head a little bit so that that he's thinking about what John just said and he's trying to figure out what John meant by it. And then he says something that's equally obtuse and slightly unclear. And then it went back and forth one or two more times. And then they kind of leaned their heads together and lowered their voice. And they were like, "Do you play D&D?" And they were so excited that they met someone who plays D&D and didn't think that they were devil worshippers. And they have been D&D playing friends ever since. So sometimes you just have to figure out, how do I find my tribe? And that means sometimes you need to lower your voice and whisper and say, "Are you interested in this too?" "Me too. Oh my gosh, we have this thing in common and maybe we could be friends about it." And sometimes you just have to go to a different writers club, a writers meeting, a writers group, whatever it is that you're doing. If you feel like they don't really get you, maybe it's time to try a new one. Maybe something a little bit more along the lines of what you really write, or somebody who will push you more. Maybe you need people to stop telling you, "Oh my gosh, that's great," because maybe you're the best writer in your writers group. You need to go to another writers group as well, or instead of, with people who are better than you so that they can push you and help you to grow more. It could be anything that you need, but I really encourage you, because we do have a tendency, because we spend so much of our writing time working alone by ourselves in a room by ourselves, or if we're with other people, our headphones are on so that they know not to bother us and we're not being, what's the word? Distracted by whatever other people are doing. But either way, we're kind of inside our own heads by ourselves for so much of the time that we work on our writing, and if you do other things, other creative pursuits. So it's really important to just stop and think, how can I find my people? How can I find my tribe? So first, I just want to encourage you, definitely make some plans to get out and do it if you haven't done it yet. If you do have a tribe, think of how you can find other people who need your tribe. Be the leader. The name of this Seth Godin book is Tribes. We Need You to Lead Us. And if you have any kind of leadership characteristics, even if it's just a matter of being the person who can get everybody organized and on the same page together, find the other people who need you, who need to join your tribe. So whatever it is, this is my encouragement to you. Do some more of it. And on Tuesday, when we do our teaching episode, I'm going to talk to you about the N-word, networking, and give you some ideas of places you can go and ways that you can find more people to add to your tribe or to join their tribe. All right, I hope you are having a great week, and I will see you again on Tuesday. See ya.